everybody. Welcome. I'm going to really quickly send this over to my VIP group. If you are not a Couture designer and you would love to be in the VIP group, please comment VIP below and make sure I am in the right spot. I am. Okay. So today we're going to do a really cute project. It's called Pour Me Out. It is this right here. It is a C-size transfer. We're going to do this one right here. And we're going to do it in some 1970s kind of colors. So this is papaya, and that is pesto and bumblebee. And we're going to do the whole thing in black. It's going to look super, super cool. Let me send this over. Last day of January. Thank goodness, right? Pour Me Out is what this transfer is called. And I would also like to talk to you guys about Watts of Love, since it is Wednesday. Watts of Love is our nonprofit organization that Chuck has teamed up with to give lights like this to people who are either displaced by storms or who live with no electricity. And yes, there are people here in America that still have no electricity. It's something we take for granted for sure. And Watts of Love now has a special on my chalk site. You can buy a light and give a light. Or you can just buy a light. Or you can donate to help buy a light. Each light costs $50. And what they do is they take this cool strap and they strap it to their head while they're out in the fields. Or you can sit it in your vehicle and let it charge. I used mine while we were camping and we went out west. And we were in Moab and it was super dark. I used this to go to the bathhouse every night because it sat in my Jeep and it charged the whole time I was driving around. Super awesome light. I love this light and I love the meaning behind it. So what they do is they help people get out of poverty, and with this light, yes, this light does that and so much more. And it helps them so much with learning how to save their money from batteries and kerosene, and being able to use this light to get out of poverty, to buy a chicken, to buy a cow, to buy multiple things so that they can survive in a better environment. They can teach the kids at night. No longer is it going to be dangerous for them. There's so many things. And yes, Watts has given lights to here in America. They actually gave out lights during the pandemic in Chicago, which is their base location. There were plenty of Unfortunately, there's plenty of homeless in Chicago, and it's sad, and all over the U.S. And they were actually catching these camps on fire by trying to use lights like kerosene lamps and things like that, and it was super dangerous. So Watts took it upon themselves to go and donate a bunch of these lights and make them have a little bit safer environment. I think that is super awesome. They've gone out to Navajo Nation. They have gone and helped them with storms displaced from like hurricanes or tornadoes. Watts of Love does so much for so many, and it's just $50 for one of these lights. And you can buy a light and give a light. That's $100. Or you can buy a light for $50. Or you can donate from anywhere from $1 to $50 and beyond. Or you can just round up when you shop with me on my chalk site. And every penny makes a huge difference. It helps so many people. So if you don't know all about Watts of Love, I will put a link on how to find out more about them. It is super awesome. But let me show you how bright this light is. So this is 1. This is 2. This is 3. And then there's an emergency flashing for, obviously, emergency purposes. So it's super awesome. I love that light. And I love the team that is behind it and everything that they stand for. So let me move you guys down so you guys can see better on what I'm going to do. So we are going to take this transfer and we're going to cut it apart. Each piece can be used 8 to 12 times, sometimes more, depending on how well you take care of them. But chalk guarantees 8 to 12 uses. Minimum of 8, maximum of 12. You want to keep your packaging because on the back of your packaging is all of your care instructions. And you'll know what that goes to. Okay, so this is a cut apart. So each piece, like I said, each piece can be used 8 to 12 times. So this is super cute. Very on trend right now. A lot of this stuff, like the vintage look, is coming back. and I love it. So these little pieces are going to pop in here for some little pops of color, and that's where our orange, our papaya, our pesto, and our bumblebee are going to come into play. We are going to cut each one of these apart. I am going to write on the backer sheet, as I always do. I'm going to also use a new surface. It's our outside the box frame. I keep wanting to say out of the box frame, but it's outside the box frame. Pour me out number 1. Top and a dash. Now these pieces, because I might not know exactly how they're going to go back on, I'm actually just going to put an arrow over in the corner. I never recommend that you write on your transfers, but I do this every once in a while. Now, if you're like, ooh, I don't want to write on that, you can put like a piece of tape or something on that so you know that that's the corner. And so I'm going to do large block, top, and a dash mark. This is medium block, top, dash, and small block. That's just what I'm calling them. You can write whatever you want on there. And I do that, 1, so I know how many uses I'm getting out of it, but 2, so I know, hey, I've been using this transfer a lot. I need to order another one. So I'm going to sit that one down here with its backer sheet. So this is our outside the box frame. See, I'm going to say out of the box frame. I used one, I think I already put it up, yesterday and the day before. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this one. This is another one that I just bought. Now the piece that comes inside it is wood. So if you want to use the wood, you absolutely can. You don't have to buy an insert. Unless you want to redo this over and over and over again, then I suggest you buy an insert. However, we are going to use our boutique board. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this board out. And it just slides right out of the frame. And you can see it is wood. And it's whitewashed on one side and regular wood on the other. And I'm going to use this boutique surface, which I'm going to use the white side of this. One side is black, the other side is white. And what's cool about this surface is this one is reusable. You can scrape it off, redo it over and over and over, change it up. Which I love changing my decor, especially for seasons and holidays. Alright, so we're going to do the white side. And what we're going to do is we're going to just sit the frame down here for just a second. As always, you want to fuzz whenever you are using paste. And there will be a cart link on how to get all the goodies we used here today as well. So if you're like, wait, what was that called? I don't remember what you said. Don't worry. I will give you guys a cart link. And you can add to or take from the cart link. So don't fret. So you're going to see that there's going to be a lot of void on here. Like these pieces are going to be kind of a void. But it's going to be okay, because what we're going to do is we're going to use these pieces right here to add into that spot and make pops of color. It's going to look really, really cool. And there's chalkable shapes that match this. So if you want to make it maybe 3D looking, you absolutely can. The more fuzzing you do, kind of the better. The less silk screen you have, the more fuzzing you're going to need to do. Alright, that should be good. Sit that there. I just slid backwards, so I'm going to fix that. And then we're going to center the design. I'm not going off of the transfer, I'm going off of the design itself. Okay, so. Alright. So we're going to do all of this in black velvet. Grab out a piece. Alright, squeegee. That's a small. And we're just going to grab a little bit out. Start just off that silk screen, pull in that color toward you. it all through that silk screen, and this will wash right off. Now, the black may dye the teal, but as long as there is no debris in your silk screen, you will be fine. Now, if you want to make this on a towel, you absolutely could do that as well. You could just grab an ink single or an ink jar, and you could do that. And you can use the same transfer with ink and paste. So that's really budget friendly. Alright, set that off to the side. We're going to close up our jar. Okay. I even like it like that. I think that's super cool. It's just kind of, it's just got a retro look to it, which I love. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over top of this and dry it. And then these pieces we're going to add pops of color in just to kind of make it a little bit more 70s-ish, which, again, coming back. It's super popular right now, which may seem weird to some, but, you know, trends are coming back. This kind of reminds me of something that I did in my grandmother's house growing up. She always had those colors, really. It just kind of reminds me of that. Now, when you're doing layers, you always want to make sure the bottom layer is dried really well. Now, if you're fearful about it, you could always wax over top of it. But just know when you go to wash it off on a boutique board, it's going to take it a little bit more to come off because that wax is going to be that barrier. I just want to make sure that this is nice and dry. Alright. That is good. Okay. So I'm going to set that off to the side for just a second, but let me show you guys. See how cool that looks? It's super awesome. Even just like that, it looks really cool. If your kitchen's maybe done in black and white, or mine's black, red, and white, but it would look super cool like that as well. Just to kind of make it so it goes with your decor, make it unique to you. So I always tell people, make it unique to you or who you're gifting it to. I'm going to fuzz this really well. There's a lot of silk screen here, but there's also a lot of the teal. And I don't want it to pull any of my chalk paste off. As you can see, I'm moving it around on the fuzzing cloth. And the reason I'm doing that is because it's going to pull all these extra fibers and it's going to fuzz it really well. Okay. So taking this, I'm going to sit this color right here. I'm just going to push on that silk screen. And we're going to do papaya down there on the bottom. And I'm going to use a mini squeegee. We're just going to add just a kind of a little pop of color. You want to make sure you're pulling all that off because you don't want any lines. Pull it very carefully. We're going to pull that off. You can see it kind of is pulling a little bit of the black, but it's okay. There's one pop of color. I'm going to dry this. So we're going to do one of each color just to kind of give that retro look to it. You can put as many of these pieces as you want on there if that's what you want to do. Absolutely can do that. This piece we're going to put up, I actually going to do it right here, and we're going to do that in the pesto green, And this little piece right here we're going to do in Bumblebee. And that's what I love about chalk, is that you can give your own little spin on everything. That's how you want to do it. It's going to look super cool. This part's still really, really, really sticky. So I'm just going to kind of carefully. It looks like I'm doing it really rough, but I'm not, I promise. That is silkscreen, so you want to be really careful with that. Alright. So, let's see. How do we want to do this? Let's go like that. We're going to put that color on there. And we're going to use pesto. And this one might be dried out. I might have to grab another one off the wall. I'm not sure yet. Let me stir this up. I might be able to bring it back. I just realized that it was a little dry. You always want to make sure your paste is the right consistency, or it is not going to adhere properly. Okay, this one is not going to come back, guys. It has molded at the bottom, which means that's my fault, because I left it too long on the shelf. Alright, I'm going to close that up, and I'm going to grab another one. Just hold on just a second. It's right behind me. Alright. This one, yeah, is brand new. And I'm going to pull, hold on, I'm going to use my multi-tool. I'm going to show you guys how to do this too. So I'm going to clean this one off because it had that bad paste on it, and I don't want to get that in a new jar. So what you're going to do is you're just going to stir it up. And you want to make sure it's the proper consistency. It is like sour cream or yogurt is the proper consistency to it. And that looks pretty good. So I'm going to scrape off all that I can. And we're going to grab a squeegee. I'm going to go. I'm going to try and stop it right at the black. Only because that's where I think it should stop. But of course I just went over into it. Now if I wanted to be like, okay, that needs to be fixed, I could actually go back over top of it with the outline. Absolutely can do that. And there is that pop of color. Alright. I'm going to close that one up. Now I always try and remember that I need to stir my paste, but sometimes, guys, I'm not gonna lie, I get to doing stuff and I forget all about it. Yeah, it's looking good. And then we're gonna do this little one. We're gonna do that in the bumblebee. We're going to actually use the bottom of our multi-tool. Clean that off real quick, because that is a squeegee right there. So might as well use the tools that we already have out instead of dirtying up another one. And these wash up really easy. This is just baby wipes that are 99% water. They clean up really easy. And if you have a bunch of them and they're just sitting there, I like to soak mine for like a day in dish soap, and I do use Dawn dish soap because I think it cleans better. And let it sit and soak, and then I'll wash them. Okay, so this piece we're going to stick right here. We're going to stick it right there. I'll lay that down. It's just going to be just these little pots of color. Like I said, you can add more in here if you wanted. So if you wanted to do another papaya there, maybe a little bit of pesto there, you absolutely could. And this way, I don't have to use any placement tape. But I can still get that detail that I'm looking for. And I pull that up very carefully. Alright, and then there's that other pop of color. It just, like I said, it just gives it just enough. I like it. I think it looks cute. Now, you can always add more. Just wash those transfers. And then we'll drop it in the box frame. Alright, so let me grab that box frame. I'm going to lift this screen up too so you guys can see better what I'm doing here. So obviously I have this other side that I can do something on. There is a slot up here in the top. It's just like our drop-in box frame. And just like that, there is that cute little retro coffee pot. Super cute. I love it. It turned out really, really adorable. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you guys for all of your support. If you are not a Chalk Couture designer, please click that SHA button and watch when this video is posted, that I will add a link in there to get all the goodies we used here today, plus how you can find out more about Watts of Love and how to give back with them. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye guys.